It was the phone call that King Charles prayed would never come. A dawn raid on the other side of the world that has exposed the single greatest threat to the British monarchy in 1,000 years. While you were sleeping, a metal door rolled up in a nondescript storage facility in California, and what was found inside wasn't just old furniture or cast-off designer clothes. It was a nuclear bomb wrapped in archival paper. It was the Montecito Archive, a secret, calculated, and devastating collection of evidence that proves the Duke and Duchess of Sussex didn't just leave the royal family, they were building a case against it from day one. We are talking about secret diaries, hidden recording devices, and a letter from the grave that has left Prince William frozen in a state of absolute cold fury. They thought they were safe. They thought the Sussex problem was contained to Netflix documentaries and whining memoirs. But this is the endgame. This is the proof that there has been a spy in the camp, a mole in the palace, documenting every whisper, every argument, and every tear for a rainy day. Buckingham Palace isn't just trembling, it is bracing for impact. The walls are breaching, the secrets are spilling, and the contents of Unit 4B are about to change history forever. Welcome back to the channel, the only place brave enough to tell you the ugly truth about the war for the Windsors. We do not sugarcoat the betrayal, and we do not protect the guilty. If you love the monarchy and you are sick of the deception coming from California, hit that subscribe button right now. We are diving deep into the scandal of the century, the secret storage unit that has the king in a cold sweat, and the Prince of Wales preparing for total war. Let's set the scene, because the details emerging from this investigation are straight out of a spy thriller. It was 6:30 in the morning in Montecito. The coastal fog was still clinging to the hills when the call came through to London. A court-ordered inventory of a storage unit leased 4 years ago, right around the time of the infamous Megxit, revealed that this wasn't just a closet. It was a war room. The preliminary report sent to the palace used the word substantial. In royal speak, substantial means catastrophic. It means the fortress walls haven't been breached by an army, but by a memory, a rival history, a parallel reality constructed by Meghan Markle and Prince Harry to hold the monarchy hostage. When Prince William received this news at Kensington Palace, reports say he didn't scream, he didn't throw things, he simply stopped reading. His face hardened into that mask of duty we have come to know so well. He asked the only question that matters: how long do we have before someone else finds this? Because William knows. He knows that his brother and sister-in-law haven't just been living their lives. They have been curating a museum of grievances. Let's talk about what was actually in those boxes, because the level of calculation here is psychopathic. The first item to send shockwaves through the encrypted channels was a stack of leather-bound diaries. On the cover of the top one, in that famous swirling calligraphy of Meghan Markle, were 3 words: Winter Notes, 2019. Winter 2019. Let that date sink in. That was the winter of discontent. That was the winter they spent in Canada plotting their escape. That was the winter of the Sandringham Summit. These aren't just Dear Diary entries about what she had for lunch. These are contemporaneous notes. These are minutes of meetings. These are the receipts that Meghan has been threatening to release for years. It is the Rosetta Stone of the destruction of the family. If those diaries contain transcripts of private conversations with the Queen or the then Prince Charles, it is a betrayal so profound it makes Spare look like a children's book. But it gets worse. Oh, it gets so much worse. Sitting next to the diaries was a row of flash drives, USB sticks marked with terrifying simplicity. January 2020, February 2020, March 2020. These are the months of the exit negotiations. These are the months where the family was ripping itself apart trying to accommodate Harry's demands. And what is on those drives? The report mentions a thin black recording device found nearby, wrapped in linen like a murder weapon. A recording device. This is the unthinkable scenario that courtiers have whispered about for years, but were too afraid to say out loud. Did Meghan Markle wear a wire? Did Harry record his own grandmother? The existence of this device labeled 2019 notations suggests that the Sussexes were running a surveillance operation inside Buckingham Palace. This is not family behavior. This is espionage. This is the behavior of people who never intended to stay, who never intended to serve, but who intended to gather ammunition. Imagine the king's reaction. Charles, a man who has spent his life trying to keep this family together, a man who walked Meghan down the aisle when her own father wouldn't. He slumped in his chair when he heard about the tapes. He asked, why? But he knows why. We all know why. Because for Meghan, the monarchy was never a family. It was a content farm. It was a resource to be mined. And now, we know she has the raw ore stored in a box in California. And who is the only person seeing this clearly? Princess Anne. The report says the Princess Royal listened to the briefing with her arms crossed, her jaw clenched. She didn't ask about feelings. She asked, does Harry know? It's a valid question. Is Harry the victim of his wife's hoarding, or is he the co-conspirator? Is he the duped husband, or is he the traitor prince who held the microphone? Anne knows that scandals don't kill monarchies, but lost control of the narrative does. Her order was simple: secure everything. But how do you secure a digital ghost? How do you secure a file that has likely already been uploaded to a cloud server in Silicon Valley? The investigation went deeper into the Meghan box. They found files labeled Commonwealth Discussions Winter 2019 with a note saying, personal annotations included. This is the smoking gun of the Empire 2.0 narrative. We know Meghan wanted to be the Queen of the Commonwealth. We know she clashed with the palace bureaucracy. These files likely contain her vision that was rejected, her proof that she was silenced. It is a dossier of evidence designed to prove that the monarchy is racist, outdated, and cruel. It is a weaponized history lesson waiting to be unleashed. There were binders, thick, heavy binders labeled Communications Review. Inside, screenshots of WhatsApp messages between palace staff. Screenshots! This proves that Meghan was gathering intelligence on the very people who were trying to help her. One thread allegedly discusses how her press needed tweaks and that she was getting too much attention. Meghan has circled these notes. She has highlighted them. She has written "not correct" in the margins. This is the behavior of someone building a legal case. She wasn't trying to fit in. She was building a defense for a trial that hadn't even started yet. She calls these safeguards. Princess Anne calls them what they are: a threat. This confirms every suspicion we have ever had. The Sussexes entered the firm with one eye on the door and one hand on the record button. But just when you think you have hit the bottom of the barrel, just when you think the betrayal cannot get any deeper, the investigation uncovered the Harry box. Meghan, with a calm that is frankly chilling, told the lawyers, "The final one is not mine, it's Harry's." And inside that box lies the true tragedy of the House of Windsor. It wasn't organized like Meghan's. It was messy. It was emotional. It was a box of pain. Folders labeled William 2014-2020. Inside, printouts of emails and texts between the brothers. The disintegration of the closest sibling bond in royal history, printed out and stored in a locker. A note in Harry's handwriting says, "This is when things changed." It is a private autopsy of his relationship with the future king. William, who has protected Harry his entire life, who has covered for him, who has loved him. And Harry has been keeping a paper trail of their fallout. Why? To use it in a book, to use it in a documentary, or simply to torture himself. There was a folder labeled Father. Letters Harry wrote to Charles, some never sent. A scream from the heart of the spare. I cannot be the spare if the position costs me myself. It is melodramatic, it is self-indulgent, but it is also dangerous. Because if those letters are released, they paint Charles as a distant, uncaring father, fueling the Sussex narrative of victimhood. But the item that made the king whisper impossible was an envelope found at the bottom of the stack. A sealed envelope with a single red wax seal, the impression of the letter D, Diana, a letter from the late Princess Diana, addressed to the future wife of her son. A letter that has never been seen, never been catalogued in the royal archives. How did Harry get this? Did he steal it? Did Diana leave it with a trustee? The implications are staggering. If Harry and Meghan possess a private letter from Diana, they possess the ultimate emotional trump card. They can twist her words from beyond the grave to validate their destruction of the family. They can claim, Diana knew. Diana predicted this. Diana wanted us to leave. It is spiritual theft. It is weaponizing a dead mother against her living son, William. When William heard about the letter, reports say his shoulders tensed. This is his mother too, but Harry has claimed exclusive ownership of her memory. He has locked her legacy in a storage unit in Montecito, to be rolled out when the Spotify deal needs a boost. It is grotesque. The Harry box proves that he is not just a puppet. He is an active participant in this war. He labeled the box private. Do not open without me. He knows what is in there. He knows it could bring down his brother, and he kept it. He didn't burn it. He didn't delete it. He kept it. That is not the action of a man who wants reconciliation. That is the action of a man who wants leverage. This Montecito archive is the sword of Damocles hanging over the king's head. As long as those boxes exist, as long as those digital files exist, the royal family is not safe. The king can strip titles, he can evict them from Frogmore, he can cut off the money. But he cannot delete the data. And Meghan knows this. That is why she was calm when the lawyers called. She knows she holds the aces. She calls them safeguards, but in the real world, we call it blackmail material. Treat us well, give us our security, give us our apology, or we open the boxes. It is a hostage situation. And the hostage is the truth. We have to ask ourselves, what kind of person enters a marriage, enters a family, with a recording device? What kind of person documents every slight, every argument for 5 years? It creates a picture of a woman who is deeply paranoid or deeply calculating. There is no middle ground. And poor Catherine, the Princess of Wales. She is not mentioned explicitly in this report, but you know her name is in those diaries. You know her texts are in those binders. Kate made me cry. Kate was cold. Kate wouldn't share her lip gloss. It's all in there, waiting to be weaponized. Catherine, who is recovering, who is the rock of the family, has to live with the knowledge that her sister-in-law has a dossier on her. It is a violation of the highest order. This investigation has changed everything. The door is open. Narrative for Christmas? Forget it. You cannot invite people to Christmas who have a secret archive of your private conversations. You cannot break bread with people who have bugged the palace. Prince William's reaction, the cold, hard realization that his brother is gone, is the only rational response. There is no going back from this. The trust isn't just broken, it has been incinerated. The royal insider verdict. The king needs to act, and he needs to act now. This isn't about family therapy anymore. It's about national security. If these tapes leak, if these diaries are published, it could destabilize the Commonwealth. It could end the reign before it has even really begun. Princess Anne was right. These are not keepsakes. These are safeguards. But safeguards for whom? Safeguards for a couple who want to live like billionaires on the back of the institution they are trying to destroy. The discovery of the Montecito archive is the final proof that the Sussexes are the enemy within. They have been playing a long game, a game of surveillance and secrets, and now the world knows. So the question is, what will the king do? Will he bow to the blackmail, or will he go scorched earth? Will he strip the titles and cut them off completely, daring them to release the tapes? I want to know what you think. Is this the ultimate betrayal? Do you believe Meghan was recording conversations? And what should William do about the letter from Diana? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. If you are as outraged as I am by this calculated treachery, hit that like button. Share this video so everyone knows the truth about the spy in the palace. And subscribe to the channel because we will not stop until the full contents of that storage unit are exposed. Until next time, keep your eyes on the palace and check for bugs.